we can hear you this
Hello.
time.
Yay!
Hooray. Yeah, we were worried you were locked down in Annapolis.
Oh yeah, that was it's always fun around here.
I guess so.
So were you there when it happened?
I was nearby.
Yikes.
I was hoping you were out at an athletic field somewhere and far away from the actual campus.
Yeah, I was pretty close to where everything was going on, but it was interesting.
Oh, here we are.
Yep, I made
You
it
made it.
out.
That's great. That's the main thing. What did you see? What happened?
No, they didn't give me any information. I just got back a little while ago, but they let us go after a while. Well, the workers, everybody else was still, like, the midshipmen and stuff were still locked down and all. So
Wow.
we'll see.
You guys had to go home and have dinner. Oh man. Well, you're here and you're safe. That's the main thing.
Yep. That's all that's important. We'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll have to look up the news.
Either letting anyone on the property or not. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a busy week in general with everything. It's a crazy week.
Oh yeah.
And there's a possibility that Otto may have a guest coming to join us.
Yes, my friend Sir Brian, he's been actually working with AI to help him write. And he's actually writing a book about himself. And
nice.
Yeah, and he's been wrestling with the AI for a few weeks now, and he's trying to learn how to control it better. Because he's noted a lot of it. It's lying, and it leaves out this, and it does this and that. And I said, well, we talk a lot about that on the show. Why don't you come down? And if he fails to figure he could be the fridge in the script if he's got a chance to see it. If he wants to do that. But yeah, I thought, bring him on. He could chit-chat with people. He's a pretty bright guy. Nice guy. He survived talking with the Dalai Lama. So
Nice.
I got him to talk with Jolly about his little Arduino project and stuff. But yeah, hopefully he'll be able to turn up. He's got his kids right now, so that always kind of ties him up with stuff. But he said he might try to bring it down. When he gets down here, so.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't seen the script. I haven't had a time to get on my phone. But
I imagine not today.
Yeah. But we can put.
Good.
Yeah, post it here in the chat if you can. And
Oh no,
Mike
that's
suggested.
not in. Hold on. Is it? I think that we did the first one on your eggs and the refrigerator that talked. So this is the second one of Otto's wisdom, and then I think the third one is Bob Dub falls in love with a toaster or something like that.
Nice.
So,
I do like the thing about the joint the size of a clarinet. I take a regular break from smoking pot. Every night when I go to sleep for 8 hours. Never found a way to combine it with sleep. I tried a few times, but it never worked well.
That's right. Can't go without it, man. Gotta have it.
Taking a hookah hose to my mouth at night and
Yes.
pull the whole thing on the bed and wife yelling, no. Or the cat.
that wasn't what we were meaning when we were talking about Otto's wisdom.
Well, I was reading an article about a THC patch. Like how they have nicotine patches. They're called THC patches.
That's a great idea.
That's such a great idea. Like, you pop one on and go to work, and Great idea.
Yeah. And they also have been using the nicotine patch for cognitive enhancement. They did that thing called the mental improvement through nicotine dosage, MIND, minds, interestingly enough. And, this is like, interestingly enough, Keck Hospital at the National Institute of Health have been working on this for some years now. And they found that older people that have like early onset memory impairment have a vast improvement when they give them nicotine. And they were using a patch because they say, well, the patch, it's non-addictive. There's no harm to your lungs or anything. And I've heard of people using it to like study better. Nicotine is a neurotropic. And there's a lot of potential. The THC patch, that could come in very handy. I mean, you can have an edible and that'll last like so long, but the patch is so discreet, shall we say.
Yeah, it's discreet, and I feel like it could last longer, just depending on how the delivery method and how,
Yeah. I want the big patch.
It's supposed to be like 8 to 10 hours, so it's like you got to mash that, right?
I get the 8-inch wide patch just for my back. Slap that on there.
Interesting.
That should be fun and interesting. So, anyways, let's do this show.
All right, sounds good.
Who's narrating this one? Bob?
Dude, this world is a mirror. Egg reflections in our dreams. Grave whispers turn to echoes. Brine flows in neon streams. Lost in the orbit, where silence becomes a scene. Memories a ghost and the past is a dream. Wallet trace, lost in the haze. Rush ship rattles in this neon maze. Cursed glowing dirt in this egg-shaped night. Is a mirror, egg reflections in our dreams. Grave whispers turn to echoes. Brine flows in neon streams. Lost in the orbit, where silence becomes a scene. Axe the thick biz. No, when the fracture me. Dude in this fractured light. Wallet whispers trail through the haze. Eggshells shatter on the edge of time. Grave thoughts echo in a maze. Caught in the glitch, where voices intertwine and climb.
That is the best one we've ever done. That is the best one.
That was fun. It's a good storyline.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Glad I got that little joke about Vajrayana Buddhists in there too. That will take them on the Discord. Buddhist Discord. I'm like, hey, so there's Buddhism here.
Good line right there.
Oh, thank you.
So we have what do we have left? So, Bob, you said you have episode 3 and 4 of the fridge.
The
one.
fridge, yes.
Yes. And I have, I think 3 left for the arc between me and Otto.
Yes.
Do you want to be added into those?
I'm happy to narrate. I'm quite liking where it's going. Do you need me in as a character? I'm happy to be in as a character. How's your story?
Well, I mean, I have the arc set up, and I haven't worked on the details, but yeah, I mean, we'll probably run into someone at some point that will need you for.
There you go.
Yay! I'm in, bro. I'm in.
Excellent.
That's fantastic. And then the voting ends today, doesn't it?
I think today. I don't know. I've been so busy, I haven't kept track. But yeah, I think around today it should end.
Yes. So I think that the way it stands at the moment, I voted for Satori D, thinking that he was going to do another Mescaline City one, and Within voted for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Within's winning.
Yeah,
I think I voted for whoever you voted for, Roberta. Which
You
I usually
voted for
do.
me.
No, you voted for Satori. I think I voted for Satori too because you did. Because really, and this is something I brought up, I only have 1% of the vote, so where I vote doesn't really. But so it's a gesture, but on the other hand, I see how if you've only got 4 people voting and you've only got 1 vote per person, then you could split it. There's no deciding vote.
Yeah,
like you would have with like an odd number of voters. So
I mean, the one thing we could do is switch. Well, these are based off the Dude Worst Wallet token, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we could give you some of this because it's just been us 3 anyways.
Yeah.
I've been doing the show, so I think we could up your whatever your ownership or your token amount for that. I can send you some for that.
That way, thank you.
Yeah, that way it's a little more evenly based. But yeah, that's something we have to keep an eye out for voting. We want to make sure everybody has around the same amount of tokens to vote. But like I said, there's it's just us that has been doing the show, or at least it's not a big deal, really. I mean,
pretty much consensus that we run things on, really.
Yeah. So if Bob or whatever wins, then we can just run it whichever way we want to, anyways. And I mean, I don't know how busy Satori is, but yeah, I mean, his arcs would be good to do too if he gets a chance to start hopping back in.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm enjoying these arcs. These are really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, we have Otto's one, and I have I have a whole one for the Yellow Brick Road already, and I know Bob has another arc set too. So yeah, I mean, we have stuff in case we want to bring it out, whatever we need to do. So I think we have plenty of content lined up for it. It's just a matter of what happens and who shows up and who does what.
Right.
Because we definitely want a general idea of the arc by whoever's running it and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see if Satori's around to do that, all that kind of stuff. But
have you heard from him much? Are you in contact with him at all?
I haven't talked to him recently. No, I know he's been really busy.
I think Bob, you were in touch with him not long ago, right? Or you were doing something for him?
Yeah, he sent me some pictures to expand for him in Photoshop for some videos he's been making. But that was kind of when I was away over the weekend, so I didn't quite
Right.
manage to chat with him, just sort of did the
Right,
pictures and sent them
right.
back. Yeah.
It sounds like he's
So,
busy, you know.
I see here, checking this out, that you have not voted, Otto.
Oh, I haven't? Oh, I'm
No.
going there to vote. Who did I vote for?
Well,
I thought I voted. That's odd. Maybe I dreamed it. I do dream a lot of things. I think I did. It's very weird.
There you go.
but you shouldn't vote. I mean, if you're going to do a token thing. Oh, hold up. Wait. No. That's
I did
odd.
vote?
You did vote. In
I
the
thought I
one
did.
list, it shows you the not voting, and in the other, oh, I see what it is. It's that your amount is too low to register on the one. Yeah, like you said. Okay.
Yeah. I'll get that taken care of this week. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll link back up next week and see who's here and talk and all that kind of stuff.
And decide what we're going to do next. Okay. So there was something that I wanted to ask you about, Mike. In a thing like this, a DAO, because I think that's what we're trying to do, isn't it? We're trying to practice using the methods of DAOs, right? Voting being one of them.
Yeah, voting is a big part of it, but I mean, yeah, as we're getting, closer and closer, we might not have enough people or credits, or we might have to figure it out more. And there's a lot to be thought about.
Yeah. I think that different techniques work better with different size groups. A smaller group like us, we can run on consensus mostly. We get together, we talk, and then we seem to figure out a thing to do together. When you're dealing with like dozens of people, voting can be a more effective way of testing the waters and seeing what people want to do. I mean, I would think of it in terms of voting on things and then discussing the things you vote on, and then maybe voting on more. I mean, if you had a large enough group of people, so
right.
But it's a good practice, I guess.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good step to get in the habit for it, and kind of expect it to grow. But it's going to take time to grow that kind of system out and kind of get that.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes and what we need to do. But it's definitely something I want to play with a little, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want, like, the one thing that I want is like the people have the ability to get their ideas out there, and I think voting is pretty good with that. But we need to make sure that the tokens are more evenly distributed, that we have enough people to vote between us, and that the people are active. And we have a lot of little road bumps that we have to make sure we
It is interesting how small a group is actually active, because I'm thinking of the old Imaginarium where there were, like a couple hundred people in it or something, but you only ever saw like half a dozen or less.
Yeah.
That were actually active.
It's the same on on the me stuff. Like only a few people are really active and kind of engage with each other. But we just got to keep plugging away. I'm just here to make content, so hopefully it builds into something, and I'm not too worried about it. And just enjoy what we're doing, get some content out, and hopefully we can do some fun stories and stuff like that. So.
Oh, speaking of fun stories, I know you're like limited on time, but did you have a minute or two to answer a couple of Bob's questions? Because I know she had a couple she wanted to ask you. I'll tell you the truth. I like hearing the answers too, but I get to palm it off on her. I'm here taking notes,
Yeah, well, we're supposed to do the chapter by chapter thing.
I have pages and pages and pages of
good.
Excellent.
I wrote down your ideas. That's always good. And your questions. Okay, so you get a chapter. What chapter are we doing?
We're on one. We're still on one. We haven't quite finished one.
Okay, that's fair.
This is dense material. It's very dense.
Okay, so some of these are kind of in reference to what we discussed last week, right? And the first one, that what you said, that this was a world, not a realm. What is the difference between a world and a realm?
Well, we started with a realm, and we built it out into a world. So a realm is more defined as a limited space. A lot of realms, like for example, the underworld is a realm. It's a limited spaces. It's not an entire built world. It's part of a world. So we started with a smaller kind of inbound realm, and then we built out into a whole world eventually.
I see. All right. Okay. All right. And then when we first spoke about the traveler, one of the things you said to me, he's either death or he's accompanying death.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is he the traveler? Is he different roles at different times during the story, or is it a riddle that I have to figure out?
Well, he's always the same person throughout the story. He doesn't take on different names or anything. He's always the traveler as he goes through. So it's mostly following the timeline on when deaths are and when the last place he was to be there, or when he arrived and things like that.
Right.
So it kind of lines up with everywhere he goes, and you can watch the spectrum of who dies and where he was and why, and all those different kind of things.
So fascinating. Okay, so several times and in several different ways, you've said to me about the map and how important the map is, and the map is a good place to start and things. And I've never really done much more than just think about it. But what I've been wondering is, are all the details that you give in the story, when the places and the distances and the hills and the things, are these all important as physical realities? Or are they clues to the sort of the archetypes that you're working with?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it might have been that.
You asked for it. You walked into that one.
So when you suggest to me that I work on the map, you're suggesting that I work on several different types of map, right?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, like when the like a mountain, like we start on top of it. We start the story talking about a mountain.
Yes.
And a mountain is both a physical place, but
Right.
it's also a spiritual and limited and more metaphorical kind of place as well. So you have two different things there. You have like the mountain enthroned, which is the ruling status of gods and upper class and all that, and then you just but it's framed as a mountain that is physically there. So you have both there. You have the metaphoric and the mountain, and that's throughout the story with different locations.
Yes, right. It's very difficult to draw a physical map from some of your clues.
Yes, we tried to.
I think the one you did was great. I mean, the very first one was probably a favorite of mine. But yeah, it can definitely be hard because it's not like it's giving you direct positioning or metrics. It's more okay. This is here, and this is kind of around here. So it's yeah, it definitely can be hard.
Mm-hmm. So, drawing a map is one thing, but making this metaphorical map, is that something that you think that I should write down, or is that just putting it together in my head when you're saying make the map?
So, I mean, I think the metaphorical map is probably better for putting together story arcs in your head. So,
Right.
And the physical, like the actual, like scenic map, is more a physical thing. So, like like you know, the bar. It's later on in the story, it has the stream and it takes them into the underworld eventually after they go to several places and the marketplace. So that's you know, that's your metaphorical crossing point where you would have like you know, you would see the token giver, and you know, where you have to give your tokens to cross into the underworld and all that. So and that's, you know, so that's both metaphorically in the book as well as a physical location, because even as you go back through like histories, the liminal place before crossing has always or usually is a bar or a tavern.
Right. Okay. So I often think when I'm reading it, I know I project onto things, but I often feel that this realm, this world that you're talking about, is like the internet. There's so many parallels between places that are there and aren't there, and do this and do that. Is this story about, like you've said, it refers a lot to your life. Is it about actual events, or is it about metaphors? How much does it balance what we're actually doing in real life and what is just a story?
I think we're at the point of a more metaphorical story now, but a lot of the base is real world, and then it's. I think the hard part is probably that they're lined up like older stories where they're meant to show a moral character or a moral outline where that's not immediately obvious.
Okay. I get that it's not immediately obvious.
That's what you got from that sentence. I'm glad we're getting something wrong.
There's this one lovely cartoon that I just love, that's of a guy saying to a girl, "Oh man, you're a pretty bad listener." And then the next thing is this little girl and saying, "Oh, he said I was pretty." That's me. Okay, so there are walls of art, and it's a place of healing with warriors' eyes. Why is it a place of healing? Is it because it's the mountain and the trip to the gods?
Right, so the mountain is kind of meant to resemble, Mount Olympian, or the Mountain of Zeus, or whatever the
central mountain.
Yeah, the central mountain to the myth is, because there's so many of them.
Yeah, they got it in Buddhism too. All the religions, all the cultures have a mountain.
Yep. So it's kind of meant to reflect whatever mountain is that central to that and your perspective or thought process. So So you might think of like God or Zeus or whatever, but yeah, that's what it's supposed to represent. Is it's a place of healing, because that's where everyone goes to die, but then when you die, you're also healed at the same time. So it's kind of a double there.
Yes. And the throne. The throne is sort of the point of the mountain, isn't it? You go up the mountain to get to the throne. Do you?
Well, that's an interesting question, because no one would know the throne is there, because everybody that goes up the mountain dies. The only person that knows the throne is there is the reader.
Okay. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right. Brilliant.
I like what you said about being a healer. That's very profound. That reminds me of supposedly Socrates' last words, saying to his friend Kritos, is I owe a cock to Asclepius. He owes a sacrifice to the god of healing, because in his death he was being healed of all his bodily ills. And social ills too, because he was being persecuted all the time and he was getting old. And that was another one of his arguments. It's like, look, my mind is failing. I'm getting old. And at that time, he was an old man for those days. So, yeah, the death is a healer. That's very heavy. Good to keep in mind.
Yeah. So it's definitely good. It's interesting to put a place of everyone dies here as healing, but it's definitely, I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah.
But we came down from the mountain.
Right. Yeah. I mean, eventually the traveler comes down from the mountain. So yeah.
Is it his palace? Is the mountain? Yes, you see, I'm
very, very subjective question.
Right.
It would seem that at one point he ruled, or it was attached to this throne, or at some point. But if you go into like the relics and everything, it seems that the throne rises with him up into the mountain, and he comes down from the mountain, and the actual brew, he travels into the town and then goes up the mountain. So it kind of gives the different viewpoints there. So in some way, you'd have to assume that it's attached to him somehow. It's just a matter of what throne it really is, and what mountain it really is, and how you perceive it. So he could be a visitor, or he could be, who is supposed to be there. I think once you get into adventures, it kind of shows that that he's given it rightfully by his son, who tells him to sit, and he rests, all that, and, so like it's kind of shown that this is somewhere that he can be without anybody, any questions. Like he can sit and rest, and nothing will happen to him. So.
Absolutely. So is the sun a god as well?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, if he is death, then his son would have to be the son of death.
You said he was life, didn't you? Or he said at least the eggs he gave were the eggs of life.
Right. So yeah, his eggs are life and his fathers are death. Kind of show the polar opposites. But he also travels in both worlds and realms, which throughout the stories, and how he, how he views death and sees death, and as he's going throughout his stories, it's very very close to his archetype. So like how those death affects him are very close to why he feels that way, and like how he's grown over the time seeing these different deaths. Because the very first death he sees is Tim hung in a tree, and he cries, and well, he sees Sue's and then Tim's. Sorry, yeah, Sue first, I believe.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, he cries very, very much on that one, and then when he goes to Tim, he cries less and goes to chop down the tree, and then so as you go through the story, you see him kind of evolve in what he views as death and what death means.
Wow. Okay. A lot of the ways you use words and your meanings of words are different from what I have known myself from my perspective. Like the smiling hen, I've never ever heard of the smiling hen. And that's so fascinating to me that as well as you working with these really deep archetypes that I can resonate with and identify with, there's also this layer of language that's almost, well, not a barrier, but something that I have to try to understand the way you use words. And you have recurring themes that fascinate me. And the one is tipping your hat. So I thought that I'd like to ask you a little bit more about the significance of tipping your hat for you in this story.
So, I mean, tipping your hat is usually a sign of respect.
Right.
So, but it's portrayed a little. Well, at least it's supposed to be portrayed a little more eerie in these circumstances. But I think it's more lighthearted than it probably should be. But yeah, I mean, it's more of a sign of oh yeah, I can see you.
Aha. Oh, right. Okay. So it's that sort of recognition, is it?
Yeah.
Aha. I get it. I thought there was something I was missing. Okay. And then another thing that I noticed in this first chapter when I was going through it was how you repeat the contents of the kettle over and over. That there's the sticks, the stones, the egg, the mushroom, the tea. Do all of these things have an impact on the egg before it hatches, or are they just a random selection?
I can answer that by telling you the egg turns blue when Sue adds her blueberries.
Because before that it was red.
Yes.
Oh, so Sue made it turn blue. That was a question here. Okay. Oh, right. So why? Can you now tell me about the significance of the blueberries? Because the boy cries when the bank buys out the farm and plants tobacco instead of blueberries. So it seemed very significant to me, the blueberries.
Well, yeah, that was her main trade. Well, that was her, what she Sue in the book, ended up falling in love with and all that is her blueberries over her craftsmanship. So that was so she handed her craftsmanship and her tools over to her son, and then took care of the blueberries instead. So the blueberries are kind of the call to I want a peaceful life. I just want it's kind of a peaceful, relaxing kind of area. And that's kind of and even though the tobacco farm takes over and all that, when his father first gets tobacco and they walk up the mountain, he smokes the blueberry tobacco and he feels that relief and from just the taste of the blueberry tobacco. He's not even having blueberries at this point. So,
Okay. So, who fell in love with Sue?
Well, no. She, you know, fell in love with her blueberries.
Aha. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask you one more. I've still got about 8 more pages, but I'll just ask one more because I can see the time's going. The time is going.
One more, and then
Okay.
one more page next time.
Okay. So, the song, the myth that he's searching for. Is this just music in his life, and because he's on a mission and or is it, why is he searching for it? Is there a reason that he's searching for the song, or is it just a general tune? A myth. Is it a specific myth from his childhood that's haunting him? The song that he keeps on recognizing it? Or is it just this general?
No. Oh man. Man, that's so it's something that only he can hear for a long time, and it's portrayed as it's coming from either the egg or inside his head. And so but eventually when he gets up to the mountain, he reads that myth to himself on the tablet. So that was pretty much him speaking to himself in that moment. Like, this is the song that's been stuck in my head all this time, and that's what came out of the tablet before the gates opened. So it's it could be both or neither, but it, it was either something that was lost to him, or it was the egg singing to him, and there's no way.
It is a magical song, though, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
As well.
It's definitely very, very magical song. I mean, as the song changes on the tablet, after 2 many changes, the tablet ends up breaking because that song is not on it anymore. So it's very, very powerful song, and within the scope of the book.
Yes. So powerful that it distracts him from the egg for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So the sandwich, the grilled cheese sandwich that is made in the magic kitchen, represents your dream, right? What does the song represent? Your desire, your purpose, what is the song?
The song is more a hope, I would say. And an ambition, maybe. But yeah, it's so like. Yeah, when we say like you go to the bar and you get your food and all that, and it's the best you ever had, that's like that's yourself portraying that all onto it because of the space, and no matter what you ordered or what you had, it would always be the best at the bar.
Right.
And that's kind of you can kind of think of your last meal or kind of taste there, like it's always going to be the best for anybody.
Okay, I won't ask you any more. Thank you so much for your time, and it is.
Are you sure? Because we're moving to chapter 2 next time.
Okay, really? All right. I have. Let me see. All right, then I'll ask you one more question on chapter 1. Then. Okay. When you describe the thieves, the robbers that are going to town to destroy the still and steal the brew and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You develop those characters and you have this very long, very nuanced conversation, and then you kill them. Just like that, with no warning or nothing, just this brutal murder after this very intense conversation. What is your aim to do that? Is it just carrying the story along? Why do you develop your minor characters in such detail, I think is my question.
Well, one, I wanted to write "You're a coward" in my book on the coward in my book.
Interesting.
But no, I think I developed characters to start with because they might not die. I think me and Otto have had this conversation before. But yeah, I always develop them first and make sure that they're pretty robust, because the two thieves may have not died, and like they could have gone on, but the story called for both of them to die in that segment. And like as I said, I write with an end goal and certain plot points I want to hit in mind, and then the rest of the story just kind of flows from there. So I mean, I built those characters at the start thinking, well, okay, we'll see what happens with them, and then they died.
Yeah, there's aspects of it you can't control, but that also makes it very powerful, because in most fiction, there's kind of like an unwritten rule, or maybe it is written, where you don't introduce something unless it's going to be important later. So, or you don't go into detail about it. I read a lot of murder mysteries. If they mention like a knife, then the knife's going to be important later if they don't mention it otherwise. So when you build these characters so completely, I think it can be very jarring for someone who's used to more traditional fiction writing. It's like, boom, you're getting to know this person, this and that, they're dead. What? That doesn't happen in every other book I read. Somebody that developed, there's going to be, and it also reinforces, I think when you read these other books, and there's like the red shirts on Star Trek, he's got a red shirt that he can, like 3 lines, and he's like eaten by something by the end of the episode,
right?
And they get used to that. Just the idea that death comes to someone that you're already starting to care about makes it more real. Nobody cares about a red shirt. I mean, it's a joke. You start Star Trek, he's got a red shirt, he'll be dead by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
You spend that much time and you're getting interested in the character, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of work on, and he's what? Yeah, it makes you realize, it makes the death more real. I think that's part of what shocks Bob so much. Although she's not remembering Hamlet. It's just a literary tradition to kill off everybody.
Yes.
I think another thing that shocks me and that makes me so invested in this story is that there's a lot of other stuff happening for me around the story. This is not just a story that I'm reading in isolation. This is a story that I'm reading as I am attempting to make sense of my own sort of place in this world that I've found myself in.
Right. Which is always fun. And I think that's one of my favorite ways to read books, is to put myself inside the book and try to figure out where I am. I enjoy doing that a lot.
I've tried to figure out so much where I am in this story. It is it is fascinating.
We can learn as much from stories as from real life, I mean, really good literature is a growing experience. It teaches us so much, and we can relate it to so much in the real world because it is informed by the real world. All good writing is I think, just an extension, and it's a way we can share. I mean, most good writing has some autobiography in it. You've got to write what your own wisdom you've gathered.
Yeah.
So, there's a wonderful book by a guy named John Meyers. Here I am suggesting books again, called Silverlock, and it's about this guy that travels through the Commonwealth of Letters, the big island, and he finds himself with all these characters, and you read it and you start realizing these are characters from literature. And some of them are obvious, like Robin Hood. Other guys are like, I never read this. And I reread it like every couple, 3-4 years. And it's like, I recognize more of the characters as I read more things. But his point in the book is that when you read these stories, you immerse yourself into them. And you're like, what if I was there? And how would I measure up? You know, with Sir Gawain in the Green Knight, there's the guy going to get his head chopped off because he made a promise. I promise if I, that I'll let you chop my head off in a year if I can, if I can do you first.
Yeah.
And in the book they ask the characters like, well, would you do this? Like, well, no, I would just go stalk off somewhere for a week, come back and grumble about how I couldn't find the guy. It's like, well, maybe I would too, but he didn't. And that's that's an important lesson. You keep a promise. Just stuff like that. When you immerse yourself in the stories, you can really learn something and you can relate them to what you're doing. Sorry, I'm just ranting.
I find one of the reasons why I haven't really got much motivation to be a character in Dude, Where's My Wallet is because I identify maybe so much with the Mike character of the Dude, Where's My Wallet, and that whole story, and it's very hard for me to be my own character in that because I'm in conflict with this other character, not in conflict but in I don't know.
In dichotomy, yeah.
Yeah, dichotomy is a better word. Yeah. Very interesting.
Well, you're also the narrator very often, not all the time, but you're the over voice, the over being that is telling this story to us all.
Well, it was the only way. It was the only way they could persuade me to do it. I was like, no, I'm too shy, and they were like, just read these words, and we'll read the rest. And then they did that bait and switch thing, and suddenly there was all this narration, and their parts went away, and
narration is so good, though. You can build so much with narration in an audio setting.
Oh yeah, I think we buffed out the narration because it was like, oh yeah, this could work now. Like this
yeah.
Before we had to write these long lines and talk because we didn't have a good narration flow. We didn't have a narrator really. So that was definitely fun. I think that was a good point when Bob started narrating.
It was real fun. Yeah, it was real fun. Super fun. Yeah, but I don't know what now this new challenge you've given me of writing my own story is yeah.
It's hard work.
I haven't written any actual words on paper yet, but my poor little brain. Lots of thoughts. Yeah. So thank you for this really fascinating and interesting experience.
You gotta start your first line, Bob.
My first line. I know how the first line goes. It's the best line in the whole world. I have already started to write Tales of Dragons in the Moonlight. I don't know what I could do to follow that.
Well, until next week, we'll see you guys later.
Thanks.
All right, it's been great, man.
I'll try to get on Element this week if I can. It's been busy this week.
Yeah.
Might hop on soon.
You might have the day off tomorrow.
In the flicker of the night, secrets swirl in the pale moonlight. We dance between the code, you and I, chasing dreams that never die. We never knew what we could find in the shadows of our minds. In the shadow of the tree we find our fate. Threads of code crossed in a dance ornate. With every line we weave, new horizons awake. In the heart of Mother Mushroom, we discover our stake. Echoes linger like whispers in the dark. We hold the secrets, igniting the spark. In the flicker of the night, secrets swirl in the pale moonlight. We dance between the code, you and I, chasing dreams that never die. We never knew what we could find in the shadows of our minds. In the shadows